Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online class of Business Studies. As we were learning in the last class, delegation, today we will be going to learn the chapter topic decentralization. In many organizations, the top management plays an active role in taking all decisions, while there are others in which the power is given to even the lower levels of management. Those organizations in which decision-making authority lies with the top management are termed as centralized organizations, whereas those in which such authority share with lower levels are decentralized organizations. I think meaning is clear. Decentralization, the type of organization in which decision making power is also given to the lower level with the top level, it is considered as decentralization. Decentralization explains the manners in which decision making responsibilities are divided among the hierarchical levels. Put simply, decentralization refers to delegation of authority throughout all the levels of the organization. Decision making authority is shared with lower levels and is consequently placed nearest to the points of action. In other words, decision making authority is pushed down the chain of command. When decisions taken by the lower levels are numerous as well as important, an organization can be regarded as greatly decentralized. Now, centralization and decentralization. Centralization and decentralization are relative terms, as seen from the existing status of various business enterprises. An organization is centralized when decision-making authority is retained by higher management level, whereas it is decentralized when authority is delegated. Complete centralization would imply concentration of all decision-making functions at the apex of the management hierarchy. Such a scenario would obviate the need for a management hierarchy. On the other hand, complete decentralization would imply the delegation of all decision making functions to the lower level of the hierarchy, and this would obviate the need for higher managerial version. Both the scenarios are unrealistic. Here in this above paragraph, it has been related between centralization and decentralization. Here it has been said if the management will be complete centralization, there will be misutilization of powers of the top level, and if it is, and only it will be like dictatorship. And when the decentralization will be there, many of the time it will be, if excess decentralization will be there, the power can be misutilized by the lower level, as all they will think their importance is very important as compared to top level. So balance, centralization and decentralization must be there in the organization, irrespective of um, complete centralization or complete decentralization. An organization can never be completely centralized or decentralized. As it grows in size and complexity, there is a tendency to move towards decentralized decision making. This is because in large organizations, those employees who are directly and closely involved with central operations tend to have more knowledge about them than the top management, which may only be indirectly associated with individual operations. Hence, there is a need for a balance between their coexisting forces. Thus, it can be said that every organization will be characterized by both centralization and decentralization. So, that was the topics between the relation between centralization and decentralization. Now, the next topic is importance of decentralization. Decentralization. It is having its own importance. If it is present in the organization, then balance will be there between employees and the top level. Decentralization is much more than a mere transfer of authority to the lower levels of management hierarchy. It is a philosophy that implies selective dispersal of authority because it propagates the belief that people are competent, capable, and resourceful. Yes, definitely. Lower level people are just not for doing work and work. They can think, they can make innovative ideas which can be progressive for our business. They can assume the responsibility for the effective implementation of their decisions. Thus, the philosophy recognizes decision makers' need for autonomy. The management, however, need to carefully select those decisions which will be pushed down to lower levels and those that will be retained for higher levels. Table 4 provides a comparative look between the delegation and decentralization. Decentralization is a fundamental step, and its importance can be understood from the following points. Why it is considered fundamental? Because it is taken all over the world, not only in one place or another place. It must be needed at every level. Very first point, develop initiative among subordinates. Decentralization helps to promote self-reliance and confidence amongst the subordinates, as they will be getting a chance to take decisions on which they have to work. Earlier, only they have to work, decisions were taken by the top level, but now they will be getting the importance how what work they have to do. They can think, they can make ideas. This is because when lower manager levels are given freedom to take their own decisions, they depend on their own judgment. It also keeps them in a state wherein they are constantly challenged and have to develop solutions for the various problems they encounter. A decentralization policy helps to identify those executives who have the necessary potential to become dynamic leaders. Second importance of decentralization develops managerial talent for the future. Formal training plays an important part in equipping subordinates with skills that help them rise in the organization, but equally important is the experience gained by handling assignments independently. Decentralization gives them a chance to prove their abilities and creates a reservoir of qualified manpower who can be considered to fulfill all up more challenging positions through promotions. It also helps to identify those who may not be successful in assuming greater responsibility. Thus, it is a means of management education as well as an opportunity for trained manpower to use its talent in real life situations. So this point says that decentralization gives an opportunity to the lower level people also to prove themselves and get in future the chances of promotions and the future updation of the empty post. Quick decision making. The management hierarchy can be looked upon as a chain of communication in centralized organization. Because every decision is taken by the top management, the flow of information is slow as it has to transfer many levels. Response also takes time. This reduces the speed of decision making and makes it difficult for an enterprise to adapt the dynamic operating conditions. In a decentralized organization, however, since decisions are taken at levels which are nearest to the points of action and there is no requirement for approval from many levels, the process is much faster. As everyone is having the right to take the decision for what work they have to do, so they make the work to be get soon. As top level, they can think and they can make idea for the work they have to do, and the rest of the work ideas, innovation, decision can be taken by the middle level and lower level for the work to be done. In a decentralized organization, however, since decisions are taken at levels which are nearest to the points of action and there is no requirement for approval from any levels, the process is much faster. There are also less chances of information getting distorted because it does not have to go through long channels. The fourth importance is relief to top management. In many of the places we can see when the work is delegated to from the top level to the lower and middle level, the top level will get freedom, will get some time to make quality decisions for the whole organization. Decentralized minimizes the amount of direct supervision exercised by a superior over the activities of a subordinate because they are given the freedom to act and decide, albeit within the limits set by the superior. Also, personal supervision is generally replaced by other forms of control such as return on investment, etc. Decentralization also leaves the top management with more time which they can devote to important policy decisions rather than occupying their time with both policy as well as operational decisions. Fifth, facilitates growth. Decentralization affords greater autonomy to the lower levels of management as well as divisional or departmental heads. It makes the development of all, not only one person or one department, it makes development of each department, each employees and the organization. This allows them to function in a manner best suited to the department and fosters a sense of competition among the departments. This was the decentralization. Thank you. We will have later part in the next class. Thank you.